All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for the May 10th, 2022 Monte Sereno Youth Commission meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, I'd like to point out a few house rules to assist all the commissioners, staff, and members of the public to successfully participate in this meeting. Commissioners, your microphone is live, so please keep your microphones on mute until you wish to speak. For tonight's meeting, we're using Zoom to host the Youth Commission meeting. At the bottom of the Zoom client, there are two icons, chat and raise hand. Please use chat only to report technical issues, such as being unable to hear a commissioner speaking. Please use raise hand to be recognized and unable to speak. Only attendees using Zoom application can use the raise hand option to comment. Participants calling in from a telephone will only be able to listen and cannot provide feedback or public comment. And lastly, because we are not all in the same room, all votes in this meeting will be taken by roll call. And I'll go ahead and start. Jessica?
Here.
Kavea?
Here.
Sahil?
Here.
Matthew?
Here.
And Maria?
Here.
Thank you.
So who are the co-chairs for the Youth Commission? I forget, it was Savannah and...
Hi, yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah, Kavya. Okay, so did you want to go ahead and start the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up the agenda for this meeting.
Okay, great.
Second.
Okay, well, while we're waiting, we'll go ahead and start with the presentations. We have, Anthony Yulo from the Silicon Valley Clean Energy with us tonight, and he'll be doing a brief presentation to the commission. Anthony?
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, as you will soon see, I'm a replacement speaker tonight. Unfortunately, our scheduled speaker had a family conflict, so she sent her regrets. That would be Zoe. But I'll do my best to fill her shoes. So we're here tonight to talk about the building codes. And I know that the Youth Commission several years ago took the lead on some activities in Monte Sereno, and we're pleased to kind of give you an update at this point because it's a timely topic again. We're going to talk about community choice energy, the benefits of electrification, reach codes, and then I'll have time for questions and answer. So we are Silicon Valley Clean Energy, and we are an agency that provides clean energy to 13 jurisdictions in this county. So basically the entire Santa Clara County, except for Palo Alto and Santa Clara that have their own municipal utilities, and a small jurisdiction you may have heard of called the City of San Jose. They have their own clean energy program as well. But the other 13 of us are in together with a clean energy agency. How does it work? What we do is we provide energy. So as you all know, PG&E is the dominant utility in the area, and they are the utility that delivers energy and takes care of the billing and all of the transmission. We are the agency that buys the energy. So we buy and build clean energy supplies. It gets brought into the California grid from various sources in California, and then PG&E goes ahead and delivers it to you. So because we're buying cleaner energy than PG&E typically does, we have seen a 35% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions compared to the 2015 baseline before we got established. We've invested over $1.6 billion in renewable energy projects, and we've saved our ratepayers $77 million in bill savings in the last 5 years. About $323,000 of that was saved by Monte Sereno residents alone. So when I say that, I mean quite literally, the PG&E bills in Monte Sereno for the last 5 years have been over $323,000 less than they would have been without Silicon Valley Clean Energy. And at the same time, the power that was being used by the Monte Sereno residents was greener. So when we talk about electrification, you might ask, why electrify? What's sort of wrong with that thing we call natural gas? And really what it is that electric appliances are much cleaner. So electrification improves air quality and public health. NOx, which is nitrous oxide emissions, it's a primary criteria air pollutant, are hazardous. And in California, appliances emit more NOx than all of the state's power plants. So it really becomes a significant issue. And when they do research, they find that children living in homes that have gas stoves as opposed to electric stoves are much more likely to have asthma. There's been several studies on this front in the recent years, and it's becoming a new realization that gas stoves are maybe not as good as people thought. In addition, when we talk about building new homes, if they are all electric, it's actually less expensive to build a house than a mixed fuel home. And that is because you no longer need a gas line or all of the hookups associated with that. And if, in this picture, you can see an induction cooktop in the kitchen. The heating and cooling are provided electrically with something called a heat pump. And the water heater is a heat pump water heater as well. Naturally, the dryers can be electric, and everyone's familiar nowadays with electric cars. So really, you can kind of do everything. And if you have solar and battery storage, you're completely providing your own electricity and utilities. And you could really be very self-sufficient with an all-electric house. When we think about the future and thinking about climate change, we think about, well, fossil fuel emissions are going to need to be decreased. And by building all electric to start with, it saves money in terms of the future needs of the house. So you don't need to fix the house in the future and get rid of gas because you already have it all electric. In Monte Sereno, I know there's an effort going on to maybe make the city hall retrofit to have electric appliances, the same things that would be standard in all electric new construction. And you could have kind of a demonstration site in Monte Sereno, and I know that that's being discussed. So when we think about electric energy, some people say, well, doesn't electricity come from natural gas? And a lot of the fuel mix today on the grid is natural gas. With SVCE's fuel mix, it's carbon-free. The entire California grid is on a path to be carbon-free by 2045. And electrification is the least expensive way to reduce carbon emissions across California. So when you look at this bar chart, you can see the tons of annual emissions associated with a mixed fuel house, that is a house that has both natural gas and electricity, versus an all-electric house. And this is a general slide. In SVCE territory, like Monte Sereno, that all-electric bar would be even lower because the electricity, the dark green bar would be almost non-existent because of the carbon-free electricity. So REACH codes is why it's timely to speak to you tonight. REACH codes are a tool that can help tip the scales towards more electrification. And what it is it's a locally adopted enhancement to the state's building code. And in the last building code cycle, which happens every 3 years, there's new building codes that come out. The SVCE member agencies, 12 of the 13 agencies adopted a REACH codes that encouraged additional electrification and expanded EV charging in new construction. The current round of new building codes, they emphasize energy efficiency, but they still do allow for some natural gas appliances. Without REACH codes, most new buildings will be built to have some natural gas along with electricity. So because of REACH codes in SVCE territory, we have homes now that are being built today that are much more prepared for a future that's more sustainable. Notably, each jurisdiction in our territory determines their own approach. So in 2019, you can see the mix of different agencies in SVCE territory and the different reach codes they adopted. So on the top bar, you'll see your own city. So Monte Sereno adopted a code which was called electric preferred, which allowed mixed fuel buildings that had high energy performance, but required some pre-wiring for future electric appliances in new buildings. If some of your neighbors adopted mostly electric codes, 5 agencies adopted an all electric code, which said all appliances must be electric, but with very limited exemptions. And 1 agency adopted a gas ban, which is really saying that there isn't any gas hookups unless it falls under the exceptions. An exception might be a restaurant, for example, but all homes and businesses are being heated or cooled with electricity when there's a gas ban effect. And lastly, Gilroy was at 13 out of 13 agencies, and they chose not to adopt the REACH code in 2019. So the 2019 effort to adopt REACH codes was so successful that this time the state code is much more advanced. In other words, the baseline state code is now much more encouraging and requiring of electric appliances. I wanted to mention there's also the possibility for which 9 of our agencies, including Monte Sereno, adopted more stringent requirements saying that additional EV charging spots have to be available in parking places. This isn't such a thing important for single family homes, but it's very important for multifamily homes. I know that you guys don't have a lot of apartments in Monte Sereno, and bless you, by the way. But it's important in multifamily homes as well as in commercial settings. Also, I know you don't have a lot of commercial in Monte Sereno, but so as I said, the 2022 building code is very supportive of electrification. In fact, on the prescribed path, heat pumps are the chosen method, the kind of the core method for heating and air conditioning in residential and both non-residential. You can still, however, develop with a residential dwelling with gas appliances. You get credit if you're all electric. You have to jump through some additional hoops if you put in a gas stove or other gas appliances. So this is kind of the timeline for the year. As you can see, we're in May and we're finalizing the recommended code language and conducting outreach like I'm doing here tonight. We'll be looking forward to bringing things forward to city councils in late summer and fall. Here you can see that we already gave a presentation last month to the Monte Sereno City Council. And here, as you can see, this milestone tonight in May, we're presenting the draft REACH codes and engaging with you all to talk about this. We'd be happy to host an information session with the community in the summer, and then continue to work with staff on bringing something to the council in the fall. And so thank you. I'm not Zoe, but you can always email Zoe. She and I are partners in this effort. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commission might have.
Are there any questions from the commission?
Stop my share.
Appear like it. Well, thank you, Anthony, for your time.
Thank you very much for your time and attention, and hope that you have a terrific rest of your meeting. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony. Take care.
Okay, Tavia, I'll hand it over to you now.
Okay, great. Okay, so next order of business is to approve the meeting minutes for the March 8th, 2022 Youth Commission meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay. And can anybody second?
I'll second.
All right, I'll go ahead and take the votes. Jessica?
I approve.
Thank you. Kavea?
I approve.
Sahil?
I approve.
Matthew?
I approve.
and Laria.
I approve.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So next order of business is that we need to decide the winner of the Social Justice Award. Has everyone already had a chance to read through the applications, or should we spend 5 minutes doing so right now?
I believe the city manager wanted to say a few words as well.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
So our city manager, Steve, I think wants to have a few words when you enable.
Hey,
him
Steve,
to-
are you there?
Yes.
Yeah,
So, thank you. I heard what the chair said, and I think it's a good idea if they have not had an opportunity to read real quick, just to go through both of the submissions and then have a discussion and then have a selection of this year's winner of the Social Justice Award. And then from there, we will make a recommendation to the City Council at our next meeting. Council will vote to approve the Youth Commission selection. They will vote also to issue the check to the charity of the choice of the winner, and that individual will be recognized in the newspaper, as well as I hope the Youth Commission will recognize them on social media and other means. And we're here to answer your questions if you have any questions about the 2 submissions we received this year. Last year, we received 4 submissions. They were all very good. It was very hard to make a choice. I think last year the Youth Commission selected 2 winners out of the 4 because they had 2 really, they had 4 really good ones, but 2 really, really good ones. So this year, I think picking one of the 2 would be sufficient since there are only 2, and it's your choice. I hope you had a chance to read it. If not, you can take 5 minutes now, and we'll get back.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and then let's regroup at 7:45 to debate. Okay, it's now 7:45. Did everyone have a chance to read both of these submissions? Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, then I think the best way to do this is just to have everyone individually maybe say who they would recommend and maybe why. Does anyone want to start us off?
Maya,
No.
do you wanna maybe start off yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, honestly, I'm a sucker for poetry, so I'm super partial for the first one. But I think in general, in terms of social justice and in terms of maybe starting a more general movement, and especially within our own community, I definitely think the second one, Maya, I think she's really done a lot more in terms of creating positive change, especially on a local level. And I think that's definitely really important, is like local change first. So for that reason, I would go with Maya, but I just have to say I really also think the first application was very, very strong. So that's where I'm at. Anybody else?
Why don't you go ahead and call out on the commissioners?
All right. So you're the first on my screen. Matthew, would you like to tell your thoughts?
Could you come back to me? I'm just writing down something you said.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. What about Ilaria?
I kind of also like Maya better because I think it's like more on like a local level, as you said, and I think I don't know. I just like
Laria, I think your computer froze. Laria, can you hear us?
my
Oh.
internet is cutting out, I think.
Yeah, but you said Maya though, right?
Yeah.
Keep it local. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's good. What about Jessica? What do you think?
I really liked the second essay, and I also really liked that it was on like a local level. I thought it was a really strong like application.
All right. What about Sahil?
Yeah, I also agree. I think like the second one like flows very well. It's like really well written, and obviously just like the local stuff with Los Gatos and yeah, just all that.
Great. And Matthew?
Oh yeah, right. They're both very well written and honor great causes, but I agree with everyone else in that the locality of Maya's application just really sells it to me. I like that one more.
All right. Well, it seems like we have a unanimous vote for Maya. So okay, then I suggest that we just go ahead and say that Maya will win the Social Justice Award for this year.
Okay, so
Do we need a
yes,
motion on that?
we
Yeah.
could just say by commission consensus, because it was pretty much unanimous that they chose the second
Yes.
submittal, and we will go ahead and submit your recommendation to the city council and confirm, or the council will decide on your recommendation at its May 17th meeting. Thank you.
All right. All right. Perfect. Glad we gotten that done. Okay, going on. Are there any commissioner reports or commission reports? Okay, does not seem like we have any specific commissioner reports. Do we have any comments from the city manager? Or
Hello, everybody. City Manager Steve Leonardis. It is our last meeting tonight. Congratulations. You made it through the whole year with us, and we thank you for your participation in the Monte Sereno Youth Commission for the class of 2022. And, you know, it was bittersweet. Obviously, we got some things done. We had a very successful coat drive in the wintertime. Also, we collected some canned food and some other items and gave those to West Valley Community Services. They were very grateful to receive those items from you. And we also did, as you know, just now, the Social Justice Award, and you participated in the REACH codes this evening, which I think is very important for the city of Monte Sereno moving forward. I think the council will be pleased that you heard that, and that was an essential part of the process for them going forward with their plans to adopt those REACH codes later on this year. I think you also were working on a clean water project. I'm not sure what the results of that were. However, I know you put forth some effort. I do recognize the fact that you're all very busy and it's hard to do this via Zoom. It's kind of a bummer. We never got to meet you in person. Earlier in the year, we talked about pizza and sodas and all those wonderful things, and you guys got sort of shortchanged on all that stuff. But we hope maybe in the future, you're always welcome to come back at a future Youth Commission meeting when we're going back live and have a piece of pizza with us. If you're not too busy off in college somewhere or doing some other things. We want to encourage you to put out a good word for the Monte Sereno Youth Commission. Some of you will be returning, I hope, next year. We have a deadline for applications. So far, we have received 0 applications, and our city clerk, either Gloisy or Michelle, will let us know. When is our current deadline for applications?
At the end of this month.
The end of this month. That's March 31st. So we're hoping that we would get a bunch by March 31st. If we don't, we may extend the deadline. But if any of you are interested in returning next year, such as juniors or sophomores or whoever, please do so. We encourage you to try it one more time. And we hope that the experience for you adds value to your community service and your outlook on your wonderful community of Monte Sereno. We really appreciate your service. We will, like I said, encourage you to return and or spread the word via social media to your friends and others who may want to participate in the Youth Commission in the coming year. And again, we hope it will be more exciting. We hope that we will have a Christmas parade in person this time around. We haven't had that for the last 2 or 3 years. I'm losing track here. And we're hoping, again, to have our meetings in person. We're hoping that maybe all of you or some of you, if you don't go off to college this summer, will participate in our Monte Sereno picnic over the summer. And maybe we can arrange something, the city clerk can arrange something where you can have your own booth and out at the city picnic this year. We used to have an ice cream service. I think we're going to have a food truck do that role, but who knows? Maybe we could come up with something else, like you can organize or help organize kids' games or something to that effect. That'd be fun for you and rewarding, and you could join us at the city picnic, which is actually very well attended by Monte Sereno residents, and it's something that residents look forward to every year. Has any of you been to the city picnic? No? Well,
yeah.
August 20. Someone? We got one?
Yeah, I've
It is.
I also
It is
have.
August 20. 2. We got 2. Okay. Well, the food was really good last year, and we were expecting similar good food this year. It's August 21st. It begins about 11:30 to 2 o'clock, and we will keep you informed of that. But go out and reapply, spread the word, tell your friends. We'd love to have you back. We promise more fun in the future. And that's all I got to say, and I'm here for questions if you have any.
So just
Otherwise, we say thank you. It was wonderful being part of this group this year. I can't believe it's the end.
So adding to what our city manager Steve said, I want to encourage those of you that are here to reapply and to come with ideas. I think that we want to have you guys very involved. So if you guys have some ideas on what you guys want to do in this upcoming year, that would be great. We want to make this fun for everyone. So if you guys have ideas, shoot those emails at us and we can kind of add that to goals and lists of what we can do upcoming year. And I also want to really quickly congratulate Kaveh. I know that you are actually a senior this year, right? So you probably aren't going to be coming back next year. So congratulations for this last year, and wishing you luck. And I think Councilmember Lawler, you want to say something?
I do, yes. It's been a nice year with you guys. I would love to get your feedback on the Youth Commission and how it can be better for you, scheduling wise. What kind of things that would you like to see? How could we make this a better experience for the entire Youth Commission? So I'd really love to get your feedback, and maybe Gloisy, you could send out a follow-up email soliciting that feedback so that we can make sure this is the best possible experience for you guys. And happy summer.
Yeah, okay. First of all, thank you. Yes, I am senior. And I just want to say to you guys who are like juniors and younger, you should definitely do the Youth Commission again. I've been doing it since 8th grade. And it's been a really cool experience, and I'd say it's a cool way of like saying you're like close to your community, especially because it's kind of a flex, because not everyone knows that Monte Sereno is a city, and you're like, no, yeah, I'm like on the commission. It's like kind of a cool thing to say to people, at least. So and we do really good work, so I really 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 recommend that everybody that's on it, that's not graduating, stay on for next year. But yeah, that's what I had to say about that. So going on, do we have any future agenda items? No. All right. That seems like a resounding no. Okay, so yeah. All right, so then if there's no other comments or concerns, I just want to tell everyone like really, really good job. I know it's been like a really interesting year as a youth commission as a whole. But I really hope everyone does it next year as well, because it's really worth it. And I'm glad we had such a great year. And if no one has any other comments, I will adjourn the meeting. No comments?
I think you did great. Good job.
Good
All
job,
right.
everyone. Have a great summer.
Have a
Yes.
good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.